All right, hey gang, Nate Bear here, lead technical tactician for Monument Traders Alliance and trade of the day. And in today's video, let's just take a quick look at the wild and crazy indexes. And I've got a setup that I am looking to possibly get into on a pullback. Okay, one thing that I do want to note, which is I thought pretty funny, just something that happened in the room this week. Is somebody asked about GME and said, "Hey Nate, what do you think about GameStop here? You know, you like it?" And I was like, I don't, first of all, but the real sort of appeal, the draw to GME was how incredibly volatile it was, right? That was the draw. That, this thing's moving like crazy. It's up 10%, 20%, 30%. It's going all over the place. Well, guess what? You don't need to trade GME anymore. You just go flip over to the SPY. You get all the volatility you could ever want and then some. Just trade the indexes, right? It's just wild, the environment that we're in right now. It's historic. But a couple levels I want to show you guys. First off, on the SPY, we are kind of trying to break through bearish symmetry. And what that is, if you look at the SPY, the biggest rally within this pullback from here to here, right, is from here to here. If we measure that and then project it against this low, it comes in somewhere down and through here. We're well past that. This is actually from there. So we're well past this move. We're making like basically a new high as far as how far this is rallied within this downtrend. If we zoom in, there's a couple of interesting levels here. I'm kind of focused on this gap area right here. Are we going to come up here, fail, retest, something like that? Are we going to build something that looks, kind of like a reverse head and shoulders? If we get into this gap, I think we could use a gap close as a target. And then from here, we probably have to retrace at least a little before continuing higher. But the big thing for me is China. Like, we are supposed to unleash another 50% addition to their tariffs tomorrow. And if that happens, are they going to sit back and say, "Oh, that's cool. Let's just have a negotiation," or are they're going to slap another 50% tariff on us? And is it going to be basically a de-escalation or a continued escalation of the tariff back and forth? And that's really the question. So what I'm doing today is trying to take profits where I can. We came in with some longs. We're taking some profits. We're booking it, and then sort of like saying, let's sit back and let's see another card, and let's see what happens with the next phase of this tariff war, right? Because depending on how that plays out, it's going to have a huge impact on what happens tomorrow and into the rest of the week. So one of the names that I like here is BJ. This thing has held up incredibly well. It is very, very, very strong. It's an earnings winner. It's got a pretty nice pattern. We actually participated in that move. But now it's kind of like it's coming back in, but it's still holding up really, really, really well. And the spot that I want to buy BJ is right here off of this point of control. If I zoom in, this is, my charts are a little slow right now because the markets are open. But that's the point of control, and that's about 110. So what I'm going to do is I'm just setting alerts, as we get near, if we get near these levels, I am a buyer in BJ, and I want to go out into May and get some calls. So I'll show you the option chain. So I'm not going to mess around with April, but I'll go all the way out to May, and I'm going to look at the 115 calls. Again, if BJ pulls into 110, that's about $5 lower, and these have a delta of 53, right? So that would be about a $2.50 drop. So I'm going to be looking to pick these options up around $3. So I'm looking at the 516 BJ 115 calls around $3 if BJ were to pull back into this point of control. That's the idea. That's the trade. And then from there, if we can get a good entry off of this 110 area, I would use a stop as a close below the pattern, right? So down here around, what is this, 107? So you're risking about $3, right? And then the target is going to be actually up here into this extension over 120. So I'm trying to gain about $10. So that's my plan. If BJ pulls back, and again, who knows? Like maybe tomorrow the markets are up 6% because China wants to negotiate. Maybe tomorrow the markets are getting absolutely destroyed because China raises, adds additional reciprocal tariffs. Right? We just don't know. So I think the thing to do here is to be patient, to be to trade small, and to be very, very, very nimble. Okay, but that's my idea for this week is in BJ. I'll get the chart marked up and sent out. I hope it helps. I hope you guys are staying safe and enjoying the historic volatility. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Later.